Hey, Lee Wolf here. Welcome to Game Face Monday. We are live with Lee Wolf, Richie Bello, and our special guest who we actually had on our podcast last Friday, Sharief Ferris. How you guys doing?
Doing good, doing good. Thanks for having me, Lee.
Okay,
Thank you,
awesome.
Lee, for having us.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. And just before we get rolling on the show, going to run a quick video from Dr. Hassan of Matrix, who they specialize in cybersecurity for your businesses. And they come from huge OEMs, and they're bringing their technology down now to the dealer space, especially after everything that happened with CDK recently. Let me just run that.
Is your dealership ready to be hacked? The internet criminal gangs are coming at you. They can get you if they find a weak spot in your network, or someone in your company clicking the wrong attachment, or even the front desk girl giving away some sensitive information. Hey, this is Dr. Hassan, the CEO of Matrix, a cybersecurity consultancy that helps the big OEMs and the tier ones to solve their cybersecurity problems, including vehicle security. I have spent the last 20 years of my life dedicating to make the automotive industry safe and secure. My mission today is to make every automotive dealership safe and secured, and to become your cybersecurity doctor. That's why I'm here today to offer you the cybersecurity team that the big OEMs and the tier ones rely upon. Did you know that the average loss per business in the US per year due to data breaches is $9.4 million? And about 80% of these hacker breaches are somehow related to insider sources. What if I told you, with the profit that you make from one single car, you can have a comprehensive assessment about your business, the vulnerabilities that you have in your business, and how hackers can penetrate your business? I'm sure you've heard of the big dealership network hack in the recent time. And at an estimate, the total loss was about $5.25 billion, including the recovery. Let me ask you, what would be the cost of you not being able to operate for a day or a week or even a month to get your systems back in place? And what about your customers, their privacy and security? If a car is hacked, one can lose their lives. What about your customers' loyalty? If they lose the trust, they may never come back. Remember the cybersecurity mantra: hack yourself before the bad guys hack you. Now, today I'm going to offer you a comprehensive assessment, including all your vulnerabilities, penetration testing for the hackers to see how easy it is to break into your network, to hack your network, and the possible remedies. Remember, if you get hacked, the average loss is $10 million. I want you to find out your vulnerabilities before it's too late, before you say, I wish I knew what my vulnerabilities were. Why not take the advantage and reach out to where the big OEMs and the tier one automotive companies go to and get your assessment done just for $5,000. Click the link below now and get your assessment.
All right. So that man is not a professional actor. You would think he is. Like, he really delivers his statements there unbelievably. And it's because he knows his stuff. It's his passion. It's what he believes in. He really does believe in the protection of all these companies, these businesses. And the CDK, the hack was unbelievable. $5.25 billion in losses. From probably simple errors, I would imagine. So something to look into for sure. So today we have Sharief on the show, and I am glad to have him back. You did a lot of work in the wholesale world, right?
Correct. I started at 22 years old, jumping into the wholesale world head first. Didn't know what I was doing, and here I am still doing it. Not at the scale that we were doing. Obviously, as we talked about, the wholesale world is becoming a little bit more obsolete, but still swimming. I'm still swimming a little bit.
Do you think there are key, from your perspective, are there obvious key factors involved in the decline?
I think so. I think dealerships have gotten smart. Back in the day, a Honda dealership would trade in an F-150 and they wouldn't know what to do with it. No, we're not keeping this car. Come get it. And I would be ecstatic, grab a year or two old F-150 and go sell it to another a Ford dealer.
Yeah.
Now, the dealerships have gotten smart and they're very diverse. They're keeping a plethora of different makes and models, servicing their vehicles, or you get a Toyota dealership would trade in an older Camry that had 90,000 miles on it. And there'd be no way that they would keep that car.
Right.
Now, that car and on trade and they're ecstatic. You have such an audience looking for an affordable, reliable car like that.
Right.
That is great inventory to have. So yeah, the industry has certainly changed, and for the good and for the bad. The dealerships are retaining more customers that way too, because they're keeping a variety of different options there. So, but that's where we're at, and you either have to adapt to it or drowned.
Yeah, and so Cox made some predictions, I guess, a little ways back about the used car market in 2024. They said the effects of lower new vehicle sales in 21 and 22 are going to tighten the wholesale supply, and price competition in the new car space are going to affect things. I guess they were expecting certified pre-owned sales to hit 2.7 million, which would be a 3% increase over last year. They're expecting a gradual adoption of used electric vehicles, a moderately recovering economy, which I guess we're starting to see some turn now, and we saw the interest rate situation hit this week as well. And then a carefully managed growth in the supply of used vehicles. What are your thoughts on all this, Richie?
Well, to answer this whole thing with dealers, with the wholesale, have they gotten smarter? Well, not really. The market made them change, right? Because dealers won't change unless they get pushed to change. Yeah. So the market conditions made them change. And as far as wholesaling, I think that dealers are missing the boat. By having an expert or a wholesaler on there, right, it helps them turn their inventory, right? Because the job of that person would be making the phone call. And if you got a car that's hitting 61 days, land that car somewhere else. So what is a really good wholesaler? A good wholesaler knows where to put a Honda Accord 2023 with 70,000 or 80,000 miles, very high clock. He's got a place, he's got a home for it. That's a good wholesaler. When you're buying a car, right on the horn, you have that car placed. You agree with that?
I do. There's definitely value in that.
That's a good wholesaler. Okay. So that being said, why don't dealerships hire or put them as independent contractors so they start flipping their inventory? Not sharp. You see, they're only looking at how much money am I saving, and they're not looking at, wait a minute, how much money could I make? Now, we all know that when you flip your inventory, you're going to get more traffic. Why? Because you have fresh pieces. The bank loves you to death because now they have a great LTV, they have a great position, and dealers are just trying to make everything they can, but they're missing the real opportunity, which the real opportunity is getting a wholesaler on the premises, giving him a desk, and make sure that guy's job is moving my old age units and maximizing my wholesale losses. I want you to hear this. Not maximizing profits, maximizing my wholesale losses, because you're always going to have wholesale losses as a new car dealer. So if you can maximize your losses, keep them as low as possible. Okay, that goes right to the bottom line.
Yeah.
And by you not having a wholesale and having a used car manager that is clueless, doesn't know, all he knows how to do is take in a trade-in based on Vioto. The day you take Vioto away from him, he wouldn't know how to appraise a car. It's not like you look at a car, what you can retail the car for. That's how you really appraise a car. What can I get for it?
Right.
Now let's back down the reconditioning. Let's add our profits and minus everything like that. And now I can buy a car. What could I retail for it? And who was the last customer that walked in with the wish list here looking for that car? Okay. They are so foolish today that it's not even funny. So if Vioto goes down, they can't appraise the car. They start stuttering.
Right. Right.
Nobody can put a number on a car anymore. They can't. They just can't do it. It's just like not possible. And that's a problem. You used to pull up to a dealership, you bumped into a car guy, he put a number on the car. Not only did he put a number on the car, he told you as the owner, how long is that car going to be in your lot? Okay? So please.
And this is technology causing that issue?
Well, technology is making us, certain technology is making us better, certain technology is making us weak. We don't have our own brain, you know what I mean? We're looking at the Mannheim numbers, this number, that number, all the wholesale numbers, Vioto, boom. And then you're also scared because Vioto's monitoring you, right? So now, even if you do know what you're doing, right, because the dealership is monitoring, now they're monitoring what you put on that car versus what Vioto says. So now you have a fear factor. The owners are basically putting all these things together where, you know, you can't really make a decision like you used to. Is that correct?
I think you're spot on. It's a double-edged sword, though, because I think the information and the data that we're getting from, we'll use Vioto for an example, is outstanding information. But we are losing our brain. Like, we're using our just basic thought process on how to take a car in, recondition it, and sell it. We can't rely solely on.
Let's talk about that. Great information. Right. What is really information? Information is a guideline. Is a guideline to make you think so you can make an intelligent decision, just like research, just like R.L. Polk and Company back in the day when they gave you registration data. It tells you what your marketplace is. It doesn't mean that based on that information, you're going to do it, because data is data. All data is it puts you in check with a guideline, right? Some vehicles, you got to go over Vioto, you just won't have a deal because your competitor will take it. You take that same car to a used car lot that has a wholesale that can land that car in about 2 seconds. Now you lost the deal. And that's what I'm addressing here. Not sharp. That guy that has a Bentley 2020, okay, has to get out of it. That car might not be worth anything in one local market, but somewhere that wholesaler, that's a wholesaler that networks, somewhere he knows what auction to put it. Should they go to the exotic sale? Should it go to here? Where should it go? They're going to land that car. And that's what dealers are missing the boat on, the oddball cars and where the big profits are. They need the talent. They need that guy behind the desk. You know, like you go to a really good used car lot and there's 2 guys there that know where to land a car. And dealers don't have that option no more because they choose not to. It's a business that needs that, because what I would do if I have 150 cars, part of the duty of that used car wholesaler or whatever that's in my place is move the inventory, and they'll move it and minimize your wholesale losses, because we all know about packaging cars, this, that, you know, it's not hard to figure out, you know. So today with Viola is stopping them, like all this technology that people think that the information is what should be. Well, that's a perfect scenario. That's what it should be.
Hmm.
But I look at Viola and I see a car and I can make a phone call and land that car and make $1,000, right? Pay $1,000 more for the car, land that car somewhere else, and now the dealership makes a deal. And let's talk about a deal. How much money does that deal make for that dealership in 3 years? That's what you're talking about. You're talking about more vehicles in operation, more work for the dealership,
Right.
a lot of different things. And they're all missing the boat because the wholesalers had a bad name, So because they don't understand it, it's an unknown thing, right? So they don't understand it. So now they don't. That's it. Wholesaling is not in a lot of places. They're not even wholesalers are like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. And when you started, you used to go to dealership and you were welcome like you were a god, right?
Yeah.
More, and that's what the problem is.
And we have a lack of used car inventory right now.
I see a lot of pre-owned, just the quality of, I mean, mid-model to more affordable. It's just, you don't see a plethora of it. You can get late model vehicles all day long, and your $30,000 up vehicles seem to be plentiful, but that sweet spot, that 25,000 and under is it's a tough one to get. And then you got everybody bidding on them at the auction, clicking away. So a $25,000 car becomes a $28,000 car pretty quick.
Wow, man. Hopefully someone's gonna.
And the other thing that's bad about the whole thing is when you talk about Manheim, and look, I love Cox Automotive. I got a lot of friends there. But the real truth about Manheim, I mean, now they came up with the certified program. They charge you $4 or $5 grand more to have a car certified. So now it's becoming not even like, now it's becoming more than a wholesaler. They put their brand behind it, certified now. So it's getting more and more expensive, and who's paying for that at the end of the day? The consumer.
Right.
That's why the retention is so bad when we run the VIN retention, the shotgun everywhere, because dealers are listening to the wrong thing and they're going by the wrong thing. I mean, Cox is great, but I mean, this thing with Manheim with the certified thing, it's crazy. You agree with that?
Elaborate on that a little bit, if you don't mind, Richie, on what they're charging for the certified program.
Well, you buy a car through Manheim Certified. Are you currently buying from Manheim?
Yeah. So are you talking more of like the deal shield? So if you're not happy with the car, you can send it back. Or are you talking about their?
Well, they have like, if it's a certified Manheim, it's like $2,500, $3 grand, right? So, and what does that mean, certified from Manheim? I mean, certified when you buy a car as a retail customer, okay, the values that you get. Well, what does that mean, certified?
That's a great question. I don't exactly know what it entails, but I definitely need to research that. And it's roughly a $2,500 price tag.
Well, yeah, let's say a Mercedes, it goes by a percentage, it's not overall 25. Some cars are $500-$600. Some cars are $800. And depending on what you're spending, I guess.
I would see like their silver, different certified, but they were just more of had been run through their shop and had the okay check on there, and all it did was drive the price up more. But it wasn't necessarily a certification that came with the car. So I'd have to do a little research on that.
Yeah, it's a certified by Manheim. It has a different price.
Yeah, AI. I just hit AI on this because that's what Google gives you now. Manheim certified vehicles are vehicles that have been inspected and meet NAAA certified silver standards. They come with a number of guarantees. Reliability, Manheim certified vehicles are more reliable.
Yeah, there's no recourse for that.
Yeah.
So you're buying a certification and paying a little bit more money and saying thank you.
Yeah. 7-day repair guarantee. The vehicles are independently vetted before purchase. And let's see, 10-day or 300-mile guarantee from the date and location of sale. Sellers do not have to worry about arbitration for mechanical issues covered by the inspection. Interesting. Only available at participating locations. I don't see anything about price, but
well, I know because one of my ex-partners had a used car lot. He doesn't have it no more, but he had a used car lot, and sometimes you get these cars like super numbers, you know.
Wow.
And it's like, so what is Manheim? Okay, Manheim's an auction. You're a car guy. You buy a car. You're a car certified. You have a shop. Like you can wrap up the car. I mean, we're car guys, right? Back where I come from, you used to get one car and put two together. Okay, that doesn't work today, right? So, I mean, really, give me a break already. I mean, really, you don't have
these dealers would rather have the service work too, which makes sense. It's more retention,
right?
More profit.
But is it that service work? I mean, what is it? What is it when I have a shop and that's part of my profit center?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm taking the reconditioning. I'm hitting retail. They charge the used car department retail only because I'm delivering the car. That's profit for me. So I have a car that has a $1,200 RO. They're taking my profit away. The thing does not really have a $1,200 RO. It will cost me $350. The $1,200 is my profit. So when that customer buys the car retail, instead of paying the sales department the money, I'm paying the service department the money. So if you have a store, you're banging out 150 cars, let's say at $600, let's say $600 of reconditioning, 600 times 150 cars. You know how much profit you're talking about? That the customer is paying. I'm billing out the used car department. I'm getting an RO, billing out the used car department. It's been going on in this business since Henry Ford. I'm billing them out, and now that's a profit for me. Parts and service. Oh, now I'm going to give that profit center to Cox Automotive. Please find me a gun so I can blow my head off. Okay? Please, could you get me a gun so I can just blow my head off? Because if dealers are doing that, there's something wrong.
Right.
That's the profit center. The idea of selling used cars is 3 profit centers: the sale, the service, the parts department, and the F&I. That's why every dealer wants to sell used cars. Not because they like used cars, not because they like the headaches that have to do with used cars, because you got parts, service, F&I, and used car sales. You got 4 departments that is making money, profitable. That's when you do your financial statements and your absorption. You should be at 90% absorption. The car business has always been geared for that. That's why these dealers now have 60% absorption. Right? So what is absorption? It means the money that you're spending, it gets absorbed by your service department. Now everything in sales is profit.
Right. Yeah.
You see, the whole business, not only wholesale, the whole business has changed. This is why 08 was terrible. Because they were giving dealers to people that did not go to NADA, that were not part of the academy, and everything just flocked.
Yeah.
You know, they would just, if you had money, you were buying a dealership in 2006. That's it, a franchise. Yeah. That's it. Right. Now, today, you can't get that. That's not that easy today. You need credentials, right? So, it's like, think about that. You know, the kind of stuff that's going on with these certified vehicles. You have a service department. You have a parts department. You know, you delivered 150 cars a month. Do you know how much revenue in used cars that is for your service and parts? First of all, it helps you flip your inventory in parts, because your used car manager might go out and get 10 vehicles, right? Those 10 vehicles every couple of days, add up to 150. So I might have some parts laying there obsolete that I will have to throw out anyway. What am I going to do? Keep paying floor plan for them? Right?
Right.
And maybe I'll get 10 or 20 cars that I can blow out those parts. That might be bad. I might have a sensor, a 3-year-old sensor for a Honda, and he starts buying that, and I can blow out my inventory. That's the whole thing behind used cars, that it helps every department.
Right.
It helps your parts department flip the inventory. So why in the right mind, when I'm as an owner, would I want to have another shop service the car? For that,
I'll tell you why.
I would buy every car ready to go. I would send it out to the shops.
Why?
I feel a lot of owners don't have the confidence in their pre-owned managers, right? So they want to buy these cars that are already quality cars that Manheim has marketed, rather than allowing them to use their brain to go out and buy cars and let the shop service them appropriately.
Well,
it's a safety net. It's a safety net. So it's a.
What happens is the owners today are not the owners that went to NADA. The owners today have their kids, don't understand the profit margin. But I got to tell you, when you look at NADA, when you're part of 20 groups, you see it talking to you, the numbers. You see it. You see the numbers talking to you. Because that's why the parts department is always jammed up, because it doesn't have that flip. It's the car business has different departments. And one department funnels the whole system up.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense as a business owner, not the new car department, not the new car owner or the pre-owned. No, it has to do with the dealer. I'm a dealer. I would not allow anybody to buy a car that's frontline ready, from somebody else that I got to pay more money. Oh, frontline ready. If I take it in a trade, great. But I'm going to buy a car frontline ready, and I'm going to pay for that while I have a shop.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. I don't care what anybody tells me.
Yeah.
Now,
But I understand his point. I understand Sharief's point about a lack of confidence. Yeah. If they have a lack of confidence, they're gonna go that route.
They have a guy that's not a very savvy used car person, that's relying strictly on technology, right? Using vAuto or any other source that, they're glued to these things. And it is great data. I'm not knocking them. I think it's fantastic data. But as Richie said earlier, like, you got to have a brain. You got to use your brain. You got to go with your instinct and gut sometimes too. And to allow a buyer to just go out there in a free-for-all and spend $1 million in a day buying inventory, they just don't have that confidence in that guy.
Yeah.
So they're out buying these, that's Manheim got smart again, and they created Deal Shield. So Deal Shield gets hit on every single car if you sign up with them, from $150 to $300. So guy goes out there and buys a car, comes back, doesn't like it for any reason, he sends it back.
Right.
So if he didn't like the color, if the owner didn't like the color, if there's too much mechanical problem, it's an insurance policy on the car. So the industry has shifted significantly, and the one that's winning every single day is the auction house.
Yeah, the one that's winning, right? The one that's losing, and they don't realize it, is the dealer, right? And then the retention,
But you got to use them, or else you're going to find your inventory. You got to use
this situation, like this situation with retention, with the VIN retention that we have. I mean, dealers never lost 70% of their retention in sales. If they're losing that, they're losing it in service too. Why are they losing that? Why are they losing that? Because they're being mismanaged. It's really, really bad. And you know what? You don't realize it, how bad it is yet, because we've had very good times.
Do you think the loyalty has changed?
Well, there's no such thing anymore as loyalty like they used to be. Like you used to get a registration sticker. But I have all the data that I can show. I have it, right, of the retention. I mean, you got big companies here, big organizations in Florida that they're losing 70%.
Wow.
Okay. And why do you think that's happening? It's all spiraling together. It was never like that. It was like my retention was 75%. A dealership was proud in the grassroots meetings. You know what a grassroots meeting is? The OEM meetings that every dealer goes, that only general managers go that have NADA.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was proud to say, I'm at 75%, 80% retention. My service department is at 85 and 90% retention. That's not the case anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not even Mercedes.
Yeah.
That has a tremendous tool for retention. They pay every salesman after 2 or 3 years, if you stay within the brand of Mercedes, $50 like extra from the OEMs.
Right.
Not even from anything else. I mean, not even Mercedes has that anymore.
Why do you think that is, Richie?
Well, because
I'll
the
give you a
things have
reason.
shifted, like you said. A customer, you're not taking care of the customer.
No, I'm not loyal.
You're taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Right? You're not taking care of your dealership either.
I've never had an experience where I feel compelled or I feel bad that I don't go back. You got to make me feel bad. I went to a farmer's market the other day. I'm like, I'm not buying anything here, but I'm going to walk around. I'm going to look at stuff. This woman spent so much time talking to me about her jelly. I couldn't walk away. Like I
did you come home with?
yeah. Well, just a couple, but it's like you standing there and I'm like, this person took so much time to explain the process, explain the product. She smiled. She let me taste it. She let the kid taste it.
You know what? You just hit on that nail on the head right there. That's called personal touch. That's called
totally.
And we're losing that significantly, not just in the auto industry, but in every industry. So she made you feel good. She gave you a bunch of knowledge. She enjoyed talking to you. Yeah. And you purchased. Yeah. Now we're clicking on a button. We're getting a car delivered to our front doorstep on a rollback. We like it. Yeah. Okay. But we don't like it. We send it back. Yeah. People buy from people that they like, and people buy when they feel good. And we're missing that touch significantly.
Oh, absolutely. Last Honda dealership that I went to, I'm not going to name names. I pulled up. I walked into the front, area, the sales floor. Couldn't find a person. And then a guy drove up next to me in an Odyssey and just went, "What are you looking for?" I said, "Looking for Honda Odysseys." And he went, "Oh, well, just go around the back of the building. They're all over there." Yeah. And I'm like, "Can we leave now?"
That starts with management. You got to finding the right people. I know is a tough factor in any industry, especially automotive. Yeah. But people make things happen. It's finding the right people and training them, like actually investing in your people. So that trickles down to your salespeople too. If they feel like they're a part of something, if you spent the time with them and you make them feel like they're a part of something, you're going to see much more production. So it's all people. It's tough to teach that, but if you have the right person that can teach that and train that to people, it's priceless. Yeah.
And we have a tool that's going to help their retention. We also have a tool that's going to help them increase their repair orders. We have every recall. We have the data of the recalls per VIN.
That's huge.
That's huge, correct? And we have a tool, right? Our VIN retention tool, it works with Helms Technology. And that Helms Technology situation is marketing your DMS data. So dealers do that, but they don't even know which customer still has the car. I do.
You want me to run a video on it?
Yeah, that's the data that I have that tells you the customers you lost.
Yeah, that's strong. That's
Lee, why don't you show that?
Yeah, hold on. I'll give the inside view of the VIN retention report here. So here you can see an example of your VIN retention report. Right at the top, you're going to see the total VINs you sold over a period of time. You're going to see the sales that you retained. You're going to see the VINs that ended up going on the market elsewhere. You could see it broken out by month. And it's really going to give you a good picture of how your retention situation is going. As you move on, these are your past VINs sold relisted in the last year. So whether they were on your website or a competitor's website, you're going to get to see. These are the VINs that were sold by your dealership by month. So you can see when your peaks and your valleys. Now you move on and you can see these are the VINs that you lost and what dealerships they went to, which is a huge, huge advantage. Which vehicles went to auctions that were your VINs. You see, this isn't just about knowing how many vehicles you sold. This is for sale by owner. These are your VINs. These are the models that you lost. So now you can see which vehicles, why are we losing so many souls and so many sportages as compared to other vehicles? And then you have the positive side. These are the ones that you retained. So in the end, you're not just marketing to people in your CRM that may have gone somewhere else already, and now you can see where they've gone and you can target them to get them back. It is amazing how you never get used to the sound of your own voice. Oh my gosh. But it's an incredible tool. It really, I'm telling you, my short time in actual car sales, I was in refinance, I was in marketing and advertising for a couple of decades and had 29 dealerships that we were marketing to across the tri-state area. But when I was in sales, the only thing I would hear is we sold this many cars. They sold this many cars. Why did they sell more cars than we sold? Make more phone calls. Not what are your experiences? Where did these people end up? Where did our VINs go? What are the VINs we held on to? What car? We're selling more of these and more of these. Why aren't we selling more of those? And how do we change our perspective to? It's unbelievable to me, this tool, and I wish we had our hands on it.
Yeah. And that recall data that you have, Richie, that seems like that's a no-brainer for somebody. That's just money coming
right. And
down.
what that does is it's combined between the recall data, right, with the VIN retention, and with our marketing with Helms Technology DMS marketing. It's a game changer. Instead of the dealers doing the DMS without knowing if that customer is even their customer, that customer could have bought a car a week ago and you're marketing that customer. So now that customer is saying, why is he marketing me? I already got rid of my car. He doesn't know that. So you look like, you don't look like you're sharp. We make you look like you're sharp with the data. Here you go. Right. Clean your data and only reach out to those people that are our opportunities. Don't send out a blanket blast to your DMS because it makes you look like,
Yeah. So you can integrate all your technology into, say, a BDC into their CRM.
Yeah. Helms Technology has it all, and we have our data, and we have the recalls.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So imagine knowing, 150 of your VINs ended up at these specific dealerships, and did they go to the same model? Did they go to the same model? Did they just go to some used car lot? Did they just sell it online? But now you could target these people, whether it's service or another way. Come in for a free oil change. We'd love to just have you back in the service department. And boom, you have a salesperson trained and ready to hit each and every one of those people as they walk in the door. My father was flipped in Florida 2 times at Lexus dealers. He was flipped waiting for his oil change. 2 times they sold him a car. I can't even imagine. I said, Dad, how did you make a decision like that? He goes, the guy was good.
Did you train him? Did you train that salesperson, Richie? Was that
probably was Rich? I told Rich while he was in New York, my father's getting an oil change in Florida. Rich hopped on a plane and flipped 2 cars. But yeah, man, I mean, and I didn't see that when I was working. They had to yell at the people to get in there, but having a plan, having them trained, knowing where the VINs went, bringing them in through the service department, and selling them. It's unbelievable to me that
It's crazy.
Every dealership and every marketing firm that deals with dealerships, that markets for dealerships, should have their hands on this technology.
Yeah.
It's great technology.
Yeah.
I
Unreal.
agree.
Anything else, gentlemen?
Well, Lee, I think the show is really good. I thank you. And today is Happy Monday. So,
yeah.
I mean, Lee just turned white. He didn't realize it. He just said, "Oh my God."
I still got work. We have work.
He's sweating. He's sweating. Happy Monday to everybody. And thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, guys. Have a great week, productive, and hope everybody has a successful week.
Awesome. You too, and thanks for being here. And like I said Friday and again today, looking forward to working with you.
Yep, same here, guys. Thank you. Thank you, Richie.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.